one of the things that I'd encourage people to think about is adding a bit more structure into their everyday eating patterns. And it's not to make this like a regiment or something that's completely inflexible or that feels like you're on some sort of crazy diet of some sort. What I mean by adding some structure is what we've seen in a lot of folks' eating patterns right now as they're working and schooling from home is just like a free-for-all where suddenly people aren't packing lunches or taking a scheduled, lunch break, where it's just become sort of like people might be eating breakfast later or just not even eating it at all because, there's just so much happening in the home front now. And so what I'd like you to do is take a piece of paper, and I always like paper and pen rather than, computerized thing for this sort of thing, but just really think about like, okay, what time are we getting up? And use what I call the timing technique. And the timing technique is really putting down a map of when is the schedule that we're going to aim for eating in our household. And I suspect for a lot of people, this has shifted a little bit later because we're seeing a lot of people eat breakfast later and suppers later. And that's fine. It's kind of more European in some ways to have a later dinner. And that's totally fine. But what we want to do is put a little bit of a game plan together. Otherwise, what ends up happening is maybe people eat breakfast a little later, lunch becomes late. And then by 4 o'clock, people are ravenous. They start eating down the house in snacks. And then, of course, your family doesn't want to come to the dinner table hungry for any of the, healthy, nerdy vegetable things that you might have on the dinner table. So again, if you really think about, okay, this is going to be our eating plan, the timing technique, what I mean by that is eat every 3 to 5 hours. So ideally, if you eat your breakfast within about an hour of waking, that would be ideal. And then count out 3 to 5 hours later for your next meal or snack. Then count out again 3 to 5 hours for your next meal or snack after that. And what that means is that some people are going to eat 6 times a day. Some people are going to eat only 3 times a day. And all of those are correct. I think the food marketers of the world have sold people this thought that they have to be grazing and snacking all day and they have to eat 6 meals a day or every 2 hours, which is actually false. For a lot of people, that would actually be overeating. So really looking at what is my own unique timing technique, it is going to vary person to person. Some people like to have larger, substantial meals. Other people like to eat a smaller amount more often. And both of those eating styles are correct. We just need to define, what's your eating personality look like? Map out that timing technique for your family and put it up on the fridge or on the counter so that everyone knows. It's like when you're saying, no, I don't want you to have a snack right now because we're going to be eating dinner in a half an hour. There's some sort of, reason why that's a little bit more legitimate than something that's changing day to day where nobody knows when food is coming and going.